Hey, everybody, it's John Boquette, past president of the New England Newspaper and Press Association, coming to you from the Newtown Bee. Welcome to the 2022 New England Newspaper Awards and our first award session today involving Publick Occurrences. This award recognizes the very best work that New England newspapers produce every year, whether it's individual or team stories, series, spot news, coverage, columns, or photojournalism that ran in print and or online. NEPA presents up to 16 Publick Occurrences awards to member newspapers annually, and this year we've got 15 for you. This award was established in 1990 to recognize individual and team merit at New England newspapers to mark the 300th anniversary of the founding of Publick Occurrences, the first newspaper published in America. And 4 days after it appeared in Boston back in 1690, Publick Occurrences was suppressed by the royal governor. Well, without further delay, on to the Publick Occurrences Award winners, and our first one going to 7 days for Roaches and Broken Locks, the Beauvais family as local slum landlords. Lots of research and strong contrast between the sloppy and uncaring property management biz versus the family pasta sauce business. It was an important story that told the problems faced by tenants who were disadvantaged because of income or possibly language and cultural barriers. This issue affected a number of people, and the publication took on a prominent local family that seemed to think they were above the law. Well reported and well written. Our next Publick Occurrences Award is going to the Martha's Vineyard Times. The housing crisis on Martha's Vineyard. The paper let the affected residents tell their stories along with statistics and other details that really brought the issue home to readers. Although the package didn't present any clear solutions to the housing crisis, it did spell out in the words of people affected by it how important and stressful the search for affordable housing on the vineyard can be. Coming up next, the Connecticut Health I-Team. Dancing again, COVID-19 battle gives survivor a new appreciation for life. While we've seen this approach to telling the COVID story through the words of a survivor, this was very well done and laid out his near-death experience and the long, cautious path of recovery. The publication did an excellent job with details and photos. Our next Publick Occurrences Award is going to the Berkshire Eagle for Project Paycheck. This series had it all: engaging reporting, reader involvement, links to follow, charts, photos, surveys, and more. It makes no pretenses telling readers up front it'll consist of informal dispatches from the writer relayed in a breezy first-person style. It's an inviting and personal look at the decline of jobs in Berkshire County during and after the pandemic. It's filled with interesting quips like this one. Quote, "Employers in Berkshire County have more openings than an amateur comedy night," unquote. Our next Publick Occurrences Award goes to the Providence Business News. Everybody's business. This is a very topical approach to business reporting against the backdrop of national divisiveness over race, immigration, and ethnicity. The one-page stories are well illustrated and pose the same questions to each subject, along with a narrative intro. The paper is to be commended for the diversity in the series, featuring a Native American, a Guatemalan, and a Venezuelan, along with the Black, Asian American subjects. Our next Publick Occurrences Award is going to the Granite State News Collaborative, Manchester Housing Project. This is an innovative examination of some of the underlying and rarely discussed causes of income inequality and segregation. It was more than thoroughly researched, informative, and well-written with many voices. It's lively, nuanced, alert reporting and writing. Our next Publick Occurrences Award is going to the Sun Journal, Legacy of Pain. This project is exhaustive, but not exhausting. At first, we thought, oh no, another opioid screed, but it was superbly written and edited and has many, many voices, a multi-sourced project with real impact. The next Public Occurrences award goes to the New Hampshire Union Leader, Stepdaughter. The Union Leader's stories reveal its former caustic and conservative publisher, William Loeb Jr., was a pedophile and takes the concept of holding the powerful accountable to a new level. The decision to publish the compelling accounts of Loeb's stepdaughter and daughter took courage and a deep commitment to journalism's truth-telling responsibility. Although Loeb has been dead for 4 decades, these stories further cement his notorious legacy far beyond his racist, anti-Semitic, and vindictive misuse of the power of the press. Next up in our Public Occurrences recognition, 7 days. The doctor won't see you now. By far the most impactful and best told story. Fascinating reporting on this egregious delay in medical care by a major medical network in Vermont. The reporting appears to have prompted a state investigation. The weaving of patient and practitioner stories with data on medical care in Vermont was first rate. This is terrific professional response to an everyday occurrence, and it shows a serious health problem for the entire community. Next up in our Public Occurrences award is Mass Live, Northampton VA Hospital. Using all of its investigative resources, Mass Live gets the story that not even public officials knew about. This story on the proposed shutdown of the Northampton VA Medical Center was a good piece of advocacy that probably had a hand in saving the complex from closure. Coming up next, the Day of New London. Those people. This is thoughtful response to a horrendous, possibly race-based murder, and it provides different options to change attitudes. It's a great idea, and it has loads of interesting interviews. Next up in our Public Occurrences Awards is the Eagle Tribune, 1988 murder. The paper didn't wait for the slow wheels of justice to bring a suspect back to face the murder charge of a more than 3 decades before incident. It sent a reporter to the Alabama small town where he had fled after the crime and brings the story to a conclusion. Next up for our Public Occurrences honorees, the Inquirer and Mirror, PFAs. The Nantucket Inquirer and Mirror mustered its resources to bring readers sustained, balanced, and informative reportage of the presence of a class of carcinogenic chemicals on the island. The extensive and enterprising coverage across varied platforms fostered public awareness and influenced public policy. The Inquirer and Mirror's commitment to this story stands as a model of journalism accomplished in service to their community. Our next Public Occurrences Award goes to the Concord Monitor, Shots Fired. The Concord Monitor series is well written, well laid out, and well illustrated. It examines in some depth an issue familiar to many communities, police departments, victims, and their families. The piece on the ills suffered by police officers who shoot people suffering mental health crises is especially revelatory in the main because of its up-close look at a police officer hampered by emotional after effects from his shooting and killing of a disturbed man. The final piece offers a glimmer of help and hope in its focus on mobile crisis teams. And wrapping up our Public Occurrences Award for 2022, 7 days, again, locked out. 7 days presents an exhaustive report on Vermont's struggles with the relatively high cost and the scarcity of housing in that state. The report is well researched and rife with statistics relevant to Vermont's housing stock and its residents' ability to afford housing. The series is enhanced by a laudable use of art to illustrate a topic that could be difficult to adorn. Well, that wraps up our Public Occurrences Awards for this year. Thank you and congratulations to everyone who entered and everyone who won. I'm John Boquette, coming to you from the Newtown Bee, and we'll see you at the next award presentation.